Hey guys, it's me again, Harold. Sharing with you some game engine development tips that I hope you find useful. Um, I've been sharing some non-technical game engine development tips on my Twitch channel. Yeah, you know that channel that you were supposed to subscribe but you haven't done so yet? Tell you what, I'm gonna give you like a minute so you can go to my channel, subscribe, and then come back. Yeah, let's do that. If you have done that already, guys, thank you so much for joining my channel. Let's go back to what this video is all about. Okay, so I've been sharing some technical and non-development technical and non-technical tips on my channel, and I have compiled the non-technical tips here in this video with the hope that you will find them useful. All right, I know how it feels, you know what it feels to go through this whole process of developing a game engine, and I know what you may be going through. So I want to share some tips that I hope you find them helpful. So check them out. Here they are. See, the problem is that if you see failure as a reflection of yourself, then you are not going to go far. All right, separate failure from your own persona, right? From your own, from you, right? Failure is, that doesn't mean that you are a failure. Failure is just external things, right? The thing is that you need to know how to deal with what you learn from failures, right? You can either take it personally and believe that you are a loser, which you are not, or you can analyze the failure and see, okay, well, I should do this, I should do X, Y, and Z so that I can progress now that I know what didn't work, right? So do that. Separate failure from you, right? Be kind to yourself. Be kind to yourself. Failure is not a reflection of who you are. It's just life telling you, hey, dude, that's not how things are done. Think of it in a different way and you'll get it, right? A lot of my initial implementations are chaotic, like I mentioned. Most of the times I do not know what I'm doing, but that's the point, right? And that's what I want you to understand. It is okay to know. It is okay to not know when you are starting out. It is totally okay, not only for game engine development, but for everything in life. You do not know what you don't know, and not until you find that out, nobody's going to tell you. You cannot read it that in a book. You have to find out for yourself. You cannot learn how to swim by reading a book, right? You have to start doing it, and in many cases, like in my case, I start out very small, testing out like the waters, for example, and slowly I go in and get the big picture, and in the end I have a clear image of how to implement everything. My whole philosophy is that if you don't know something, the only way to find out is to go out there and start doing it, right? Like that's the best way to learn. That's how I developed that whole game engine, to be honest with you. I just started doing it. And I had that mentality, that mindset that I'm going to learn as I go. Cool thing about that I'm discovering about going live on Twitch is that this whole impro that you have to improvise, right? That you have nothing prepared when you go live. It is nerve-wracking. It is scary, believe me. And especially when you have to debug things like this, and it's not working, and you don't know what could be the problem. But going through the hassle of doing this is kind of fun because you are doing it live, and it's scary, right? But also exciting. And at first I was scared actually of doing this, right? I thought that when you would go live on Twitch, you had to have everything prepared beforehand, that everything needed to work perfectly. However, watching other live streamers, I've discovered that no, you don't need to have everything prepared. You do need to have an idea what you're going to do, So you don't have to have anything prepared, nor everything has to go, perfectly, right? Problems will arise, and that is okay. Uh, this is a problem that has arisen right now. I think I made a mistake with the, linking the engine to the Mac target. Um, so, it's something that I'm actually getting more comfortable with. Not better, but more comfortable with. Just, sharing my mistakes, my errors live. And I know, and I'm liking that because, you know, um, it is, like we like, I don't think everybody knows everything, right? What it Nobody does. But what I'm saying is that even if you see someone who is a programmer who is, that may be very, like, well known, they make a lot of mistakes. They also use Google, right? They also use a Stack Overflow. At first, I imagined that they didn't. At first, I imagined that they knew everything. But then, watching other live streamers, respectable live streamers, uh, programmers, made me realize, you know what? They are just like any other human being, right? They make mistakes. They need to go on Stack. Um, Many people ask me, what do I plan to do with the game engine? And to be honest with you guys, um, I'm taking it more as a hobby, right? As a hobby to keep myself, sharp, to keep my mind, rolling, going. Um, and I really enjoy doing that, right? So I do not know if I will ever, do more with the engine than just a hobby. Um, I'm not saying I'm closing the doors to opportunities. I am not. But right now it's something that I love doing. Um, and I guess that is a good thing, right? Because when you love something, when you do something that you really love, like you truly passionately love, then I think that is a good thing because you are happy with yourself, and this can also be your kind of a getaway from the real world, right? So many issues going out there that when you come and you sit in front of the computer and you spend hours trying to decipher how to make something work, can bring you some sort of inner peace. Uh, I know that may sound weird to people who are not engineers, who are not developers, who are not into the tech, who are not into the tech world. But that's something that brings me peace. Um, you know, like trying to decipher how things work. Again, I have been saying this multiple times. Game engine development is a very slow process. Uh, it doesn't provide that instant gratification that you may be looking for. It It's not something that you can showcase right away. It's not something that you can show off to your friends, to your family, because in the beginning you will have basically nothing to show, nothing to show off, like nothing. Especially if you decide to develop your game engine from scratch. It takes a long time. It takes perseverance. It takes dedication to do this. Uh, so if you are the person that are not looking for instant gratification, a person that does not need that instant gratification from the outside world, uh, then you'll be okay, right? But if you want to show something right away, if you know something cool right away, it's not gonna happen. If you are also looking for, you know, if you are hoping to make money out of this, I'm gonna be honest. Unless you have connections with investors, that can help you out with this, you are not going to make money at all, right? Because you have to be real that there are other game engines out there that people can use, right? There's Unity, Unreal, Godot, and many other game engines that they can use instead of using a game engine that is barely in the initial stages, right? Even with my game engine, right? People have asked me how ready is it. Well, it is ready, but there are some features that it is lacking. For example, a menu system, right? You do not want to create a game without a menu system, right? How would a user interact? I am not really good at developing the whole gameplay. I really suck at it. You know, I just don't have that creativity to come up with a cool gameplay, with a cool game story. If you tell me, hey, do this, implement this game, and you give me the gameplay and you give me exactly what you want, I can do that. Not a problem. But aside from that, guys, nope. I am not a game designer. I don't have that skill. I wish I had, and I got, I have some books. I I'm playing some games here and there to kind of learn from those. I go on YouTube and watch several channels that talk about game design. They're cool, but it is interesting. But I know that is my weakness. I am not a game designer. I do not have that talent, that gift. I will make very boring games, So with that right now. But once you have like the basic framework of your game engine, once you already have something going on, then that is the time where you need to start focusing where to go. Like for example, I did as a demo, I did an FPS shooter game. If you go to my website, you can actually see the demo that I did. And from that demo, from the little game that I did, I learned a lot, right? I learned that to develop FPS games, you need a certain type of implementations in your game engine that will make it easy for you or for the game developer to develop FPS shooter games, right? If you want to develop a different type of game, well, then you will have to add other type of implementation so that it will make the life of the game developer a lot easier to develop those type of games. So keep that in mind, right? For example, I want to develop a soccer game because I really want to develop one. But I know that the physics for a soccer game will be a lot different than from an FPS shooter game, right? Like the ball physics, right? The physics of the ball rolling and bouncing off and all of that will be a lot different. So I'm aware that I will have to modify my physics engine for a sports type of game. So keep that in mind. There are several components that will apply to all game types, but there will be some components that will be very specific to a particular game type. So just letting you know that, so that way when you get to that point, you know where to go. And that is it, guys. I hope you find these compilations of videos useful. And again, please join my Twitch channel. If you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, please do so right now. And if you want to join my Discord server, we have several members that know a lot about game engine development, more than I do, to be honest with you. So please join us. I'm going to provide the link to all of those channels and the server in the description below, and I'll see you next time.